I was on LiveJournal a lot as a teenager, and my least favourite thing was people apologising for not posting, because it doesn't matter. You don't make paid for it. You're just sharing Tennant era Doctor Who icon sets. So I won't apologise for not being on YouTube. But I did just look, and I managed to post 3 videos in the first month and then 2 in the next 11. Yeah, that's good. In my defence, I've moved house twice since October. No, since November. So that's the new background. This isn't a permanent one. I'm just at home today, and I desperately wanted to record, and I thought it would make sense to do it. Well, inspiration struck. I didn't bring the microphone, I didn't bring the camera stand, which is actually a selfie stick. The incredible bodge job on setup here. Impeccable vibes. Hello. So this is going to be everything I knitted in March, although I went back and watched my last things I was knitting video, which was from July. So some of it is quite, like there are a lot of finished objects that I don't even have here because they're at the shop. And I'd forgotten I'd made them, quite frankly. But I thought we'd ease back in with a very gentle, chatty one. So please get a hot beverage of your choice. This was not my choice. It's really good I wasn't recording so you didn't hear just the tragedy I managed to convey with the phrase, "Oh, I don't have any milk," really spoke volumes about my life. This is my favourite mug. I didn't steal it from a Starbucks, and that's the important thing. Someone who lived in a house I used to live in stole it from a Starbucks. So grab yourself a hot beverage, or a cold one. I'm like, oh god, we're going to talk about knitting, but it's spring. It has bucketed down this morning. We had 20 degrees over the weekend, and then just I briefly thought it was hailing. I'm in my most autumnal outfit. It is mid-April. This was going to be everything I made in March, and then it's taken me till the 15th of April to film this, so we're just going to pretend, okay? It's like the 100 Years' War, right? It was a long march. That sounds terrible. In that July video, I mention what I'm going to start next, and I've started it, I've finished it. I can't wear it because when I got it out to wear it today, I realised it has some of my dinner down it, so it needs washing. Isn't she pretty? This is the Sanguine sweater by Morgan Wollendorf. I started this in 2021. Me, a colour palette, never. I put it on hold because, oh, I know why. I was trying to be really cheap. I didn't want to use more than one skein of any of the contrast colours. So I was knitting a size that was probably too small, and I was knitting, instead of a cream, I had a beige. And it just wasn't speaking to me. I redid it. I still only used less than a skein of the contrast colours. So that was a complete... I was lying to myself anyway. What I did use was 2.1 of the cream, which really bugged me. It is all West Yorkshire spinners, but it is great proof of how their approach to doing their... This is spoilers, by the way. Their approach to doing their double knit weights. All West Yorkshire spinners double knits, exactly the same gauge. Exactly the same. Exactly the same meterage per 100 grams. And when you say it, it seems very, very obvious. But this is Colour Lab for the cream, because it's just cream. I didn't need a really fancy yarn. The green, the yellow, and the orange are Croft DK, and the teal is my beloved Blue Face Leicester fleece. And I love this. I just wear it all the time, as evidenced by... I thought it had tea on it, and then it's got... I think it might be bolognese. everything I knitted in March, everything I ate in the last 6 months. But it's just fantastic. The pattern's odd. Because, right, doesn't have a consistent stitch repeat. It's something like 12 in one section and 10 in others. Once you get to the body, you still have to change stitch counts every so often. I mean, it's literally, you know, gain or lose 2 stitches, but I'm not doing that, and it doesn't tell you how to do it for the sleeves. You just have to work it out, basically. So I was doing these decreases, and then going, oh my god, I need to decrease again to get this down to fit. I mean, it works, but it's a bit miffed. I was a bit miffed, but also it's one of my favourite things I've ever made, so how much can one really complain? So that is a finished object. We have another finished object. Finished in the last 12 hours. I finished this last night. I basically stayed up to sew in the ends. I think I've mentioned this on this channel, and I've definitely mentioned it if you've been around me for more than 5 minutes. I teach a class called Knit Your First Jumper, a course to knit a top-down all-in-one sweater, because I'm trying to make people knit jumpers in the round. And I did it 8 times with Joji Locatelli's basic raglan jumper, basic raglan sweater. And I've changed because I can't bring myself to knit that a 9th time. And I decided we'd go for an Aran pattern and mix it up, and we've done Tin Can Knits Flax. And that course finished 2 weeks ago. And I've finished the jumper. And it has not been blocked because, as I said, it literally came off the needles. I'm pretty sure 12 hours ago I finished sewing in. I sewed in the ends already. But I haven't blocked it. 12 hours ago. So this is a bit of a, it's a little lumpy because it needs blocking. But this is, which way are we going? This is Tin Can Knits Flax jumper in West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab Aran. Now, my first ever raglan jumper class, I knitted in 5 balls of Colour Lab DK. And I knew I was knitting a bigger size, but I was going to do the cropped option on the Flax. So I just took 5 balls of Colour Lab Aran off the shelves. And then as I was knitting the second sleeve, thought, I don't think I had at any point calculated the meterage. I just went, yeah, 500 grams. So, second sleeve, I got to about here, and I ran out of wool. And obviously, I could just start a new, if this is a sample, it's for the shop, I could just start a new ball of wool, but on principle, and because I wanted to show off and look clever, okay, I'd finished this first sleeve, I'd finished the body, and the cat is on the move. Hello? She might come down. I'd sewn in the ends and everything on the body before I started the sleeve because I was being super efficient. I unpicked where I'd sewn in the ends, I started unravelling the cast off, and I just joined the sleeve. So I was knitting directly from the body to finish the sleeve. I didn't even use half the ribbing to do so. And then picked up using another circular when I'd finished that second sleeve, so it matched the first, ran a circular lifeline basically, a few rows below the body ribbing, or what was now sort of just over half the body ribbing, ripped it out, it all got stuck on the lifeline, and then knitted slightly shorter ribbing, but I think I'd been doing 2 inches was about 14 rows, and this has 9 rows and a cast off. I hoped I'd get 10, and then halfway through the ribbing I thought, oh, you should have done 8.5. This is what I have left. I'm very, very pleased with that. I mean, I think at some points I was casting off quite tightly because I was worried. So I could probably have used more. It's not going to affect the fit, but you know, that's a nice little bit of darning or sewing up wool. And so this is the Flax Aran in Colour Lab, yeah, West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab Aran. This is, so this has this, oh, it's a free pattern with an app version because it runs from newborn to adult size. In the app version, you can just say what size you want and it doesn't show you 20 or something sizes on a piece of paper, which is great. And it's got this garter stitch panel running down the top of the sleeves, which I wasn't sure about when I started. I really like it. And obviously it's garter stitch in the round, so it's alternating knit and purl rows. The rest is all knit. It's got short row shaping after the yoke. It's really interesting because having knitted that other raglan, as I've mentioned 8 times, I think I've mentioned it 8 times just this video, but I've knitted it 8 times. Everything that was slightly different, I'd be like, huh, this is not what we've done before. So short row shaping is at the bottom of the yoke. The raglan, can we see here? I'm used to raglans going all the way to the armpit, and this raglan goes most of the way to the armpit, and then you've got a couple of inches with no increases. But it's really fun. And I did, you know, it's a short, I chose the cropped body version, and I guess this is possibly an inch, half an inch shorter than that because of redistributing some of the wool. Not bad for £35, right? £35 worth of 100% British wool and a jumper. Pretty good. And obviously, you know, dozens of hours of labour.
Hello. Are you enjoying this video? I sure am, thanks for asking. Then you should go to ko-fi.com/slipstitch and buy us, /me, a coffee. It's ko-fi.com/slipstitch, like kofiannan.com/slipstitch. It means a whole bunch. Okay, thank you.
One of the things about moving house, oh yeah, this is my new house. I think I got distracted and I was like, we're in a new place, but I don't have this, and then we never got back to, this is my flat, which is still a little, and when I say a little, I mean very much in its early days, because we're sitting next to the ladder that goes up to the loft, which is where the bed will be, but the loft has had damp. So the bed is down here. So I still have my bed next to all of my other possessions, like I'm in a house sharing. Anyway, one of the things about moving house is that I still have quite a lot of my projects and all my stash actually in my office, which has been really useful and makes perfect sense. I am a creative professional. I have an office/studio. Why not keep all my creative professional things in my office/studio? But what's been really good is I've got a limited number of projects here. So I'm just working through them, and I did have a great day off a couple of weeks ago where I was puttering about but doing lots of sitting and knitting. Where I sit, I knit. And every hour I changed which project I was working on, because I was working on the flax, I was working on something else, and then I have. Dun, 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 dun. This is another I started in 2021 and is now back, got completely started again, but going much more slowly because it is, look at this, cables, bobbles, moss stitch. Ooh boy. This is the Rosemary sweater by Poison Girls, and I am knitting it in Croft, West Yorkshire Spinners Croft Aran. That's sheepy goodness. And I started it January 21, and then immediately started doing a commission, and it got put on the back burner, and then I said, right, I'm going to work on this again. Didn't know what needles I had swatched, hadn't written it down, wanted to rip back to a certain row anyway, so just swatched again and started again. Turned out I was on gauge, so, and also I had left needles in the bag, so probably it was those ones. Anyway, I've got quite far, but then hit a bit of a hic. Oh my goodness. One of the other things about having all these multiple projects is you then open it up And when you have interchangeable needles, especially, you go, oh, I had all these, who knew I had these? Because this is all on a cable still. So I've done the body. I've done the body. Look at that! Oh no, one of my bubbles has got a little squished. Got some squished bubbles. So there's my the body of it. I've become one of those people who marks all. Sorry, I've got 800 markers in it, and I've got all these markers to do my increases. Become that girl. Yeah. So this is the body, and it's meant to be kind of 50s style, so that's why it's quite short. Cropped and boxy. When it blocks, it will gain a little bit of length because, you know, it's all crumpled up, especially. Hello. Oh, and you're connected to that. So I had done the body, and I had done a sleeve, and then if you look at it, that's a big sleeve. I thought it would fit on my head. It didn't. I just look mad. But that's a really big sleeve, and I was following the instructions. I think it's just too many increases, and I think looking at some of the pictures from the pattern, there's just too much bulk under the arm. So I finished a sleeve, I started another sleeve, but this sleeve has they have more spaced out, and I will probably do fewer than the pattern says. Every time I get it out, it's further through than I think it is. I think I've done like 6 inches. No, this is a good chunk of sleeve. So I'm on my second sleeve, but I have to do a third sleeve. I did this all over Christmas, and then as you might imagine, when you go, oh god, all that cabling, all those bobbles for nothing, slightly lost enthusiasm. However, as I said, I've been alternating doing a bit of this. I've been wondering whether I should do, you have a cable row every 4 rows on this pattern. If I do 4 rows a day, I mean, that takes a long time because it's so complicated, but I would feel I was making a little bit of progress at least. Yes, I know. There was a cable where I dropped, I got to the cable and realised I didn't have enough stitches, so I had to drop, I think it was 10, just looking at this bit here, and it's not wrong, but that bit, I'd lost a stitch in a cable that was slowly unravelling, so I dropped it down and remade it, and just where that's the remade cable, it's actually lying a bit flatter than the others. That is very much a will block out problem. That is now, look at my Fibre Fox bag, isn't it cute? It's from the Fibre Fox when I got the advent calendar in 2021. A lot of 2021 projects coming back into business here. Because it's taken so long with the sleeve issues, it's obviously not going to get worn until the autumn now, which actually kind of works out nicely because it feels like I can just go at a really nice slow pace. That's number 2 of the 3 projects. I think I said I'm working on 3 at a time. The Flax has just finished. Now, in an ideal world, I would rotate in one of the old whips, but I'm going to cast something on because I'd like to. Because that was for class. This next one is technically for class, but also it's not going to be a sample. It's going to be for Rosie. I've been planning this cardigan for ages. It uses the Rico Kashmiri sock yarn. We're obviously halfway through this ball, which is mainly a cream and has all these little lines of colours. And this is Kremke Silky Kid, which we don't normally stock, but I got myself some. And held double to make the balloon cardigan by Petite Knit. It's like marshmallow. It's soft, it's beautiful. It's the weird cardigan construction that I did for my sycamore cardigan that I said, oh, I'm never doing that again. Then did it, which is where you knit a strip of the button band at the back, you pick up, you knit the other way, and then you go all the way back along and then start going back and forth. And it's fine. It's just the first time I did it, I found it very weird. And we're just chugging through a very plain raglan, really. Nearly at the end, I should definitely put it on a bigger cable, one which has been freed up by the Flax. Yeah, it's so soft. I'm really enjoying it. The cat has attempted to groom the mohair, so I now knit with all of my yarn in a little bag that she can't reach. Just throwing yarn labels everywhere. So that's my third main project, and I'm knitting it along with Cardigan Club at work. And I said to everybody, just the first week, all you have to do is do your swatch, come back in, we'll cast on together. And I came back in with a big chunk of yoke done because I was enjoying it. So that's the closest that's my most recent cast on. I guess I did it just over 4 weeks ago, so it's about a month, and it's going really fast. So it's not like I haven't got any new things, but I still want a new thing. I'm going to cast on something new, and I don't really know what yet, but we'll see. Yeah, and then I think the next one is I'll sub in an older whip. And then my last project, so I thought I would do 3 big projects and have a little travelling one, although I haven't really gone anywhere. I'm knitting West Yorkshire Spinners Autumn Leaves Signature 4-ply sock. It's very basic top-down sock using the Shadow Wrap heel, which has lined up so beautifully, and that's just super simple. I've turned the other one, so I just have the foot to go. Yeah, and that's if I just need to take a little thing with me, because the aim is to have, I like the idea of 3 bigger projects and some socks to take with me at all times. I've reached the stage where socks are beginning to wear out. They've lasted a really long time, but I've got a few which need mending, so I actually feel like my sock wardrobe is a little smaller because a couple of them are out of rotation while they get That's everything I've knitted in March. Yeah, a finished object, most of the yoke of a cardigan, some sleeve, and a little bit of sock. So if you'd like to see more of what I've made, some more stuff from around my shop, slip stitch, general craft things, so we're gonna, the general aim without a schedule is to alternate a little bit of my personal knitting things and these chatty ones with kind of behind the scenes, more featured things. We shall see how that goes. But please do subscribe. We hit 100 last year, and my aim for this year is 1,000. I'm going up by factors of 10 each time. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me in a new non-work related space. My boiler's just gone off. Do you like my books? Do you like my knitted nude clanger? She's been nude since 2018. That's one of the, like, I have all these projects which aren't even like whips, like halfway through a jumper. They're like, that clanger's knitted but doesn't have clothes. I finished this cross stitch, but it's just not doing anything. So we've got plenty to be cracking on with. The sun has now come out. I mean, I'm not going to go outside, but I might block this flax, because then it will be completely done. Off the needles, ends sewn in, and blocked in 24 hours. Amazing. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. I hope the cat would come down. The cat's like dead asleep. Sorry. Bye. Susie, if you don't want to be in the video will come to you. Do you know what's happening right now? Oh, you're just being perfect. Okay. I love you. You don't have to answer, that's fine.